technology. This is going to be a very long video, so definitely stay tuned as we get into this. So the first term, and this again is every term that I can think of and that I think is relevant in the best way I know how to word it. So ace, it's to kill every member of the enemy team. We have active, usually refers to an item that has an active ability, like the Fatality's Energy Lance or Deathstroke's Claymore. AD, an acronym for attack damage. ADC, acronym for attack damage carry, usually refers to marksmen like Green Arrow, Gasbat, etc. AFK, acronym for away from keyboard, i.e. someone who quit the game or was disconnected. Aggro, target priority, usually refers to lane drones or jungle minions, including Destroyers, Raider, and Leviathan. Usually the first person that is closest to it usually takes the aggro. If you have hit your lane enemy, you're going to be taking minion aggro. AoE, acronym for area of effect, refers to any damage that happens in an area. Joker ult, Wonder Woman ultimate, Poison Ivy ultimate, AoE abilities. AP, acronym for ability power, mainly named power damage in Infinite Crisis. You guys have heard this before. AP is power damage. Assassin, it's a champion type whose skill set may involve quick burst, fast attack speed, and potentially stealth. Assist, to be a part of the killing of an enemy. Earning an assist gives each player involved a share of the credits earned. Aura, it's a passive ability usually applied to a champion via the champion's kit or an item purchase that is applied to said champion and allies in an area. We have auto attack, the basic attack performed by a champion by right-clicking a target. It's your basic attack. B, to retreat or recall to the base using the B key. It's how you get back to base, it's how you get home, and it's how you buy your items and heal and refill those health pots and will pots. Babysit, the act of either covering a lane or extensively camping a lane. Also, guys, don't forget, if you haven't heard some of the terms used in these definitions, we will be getting those into you in just a bit. Bait, give off the illusion of a weakness in order to lure in your opponents into a trap. If you're baiting an enemy, you're trying to get them to commit to you so that way you can perform a gank and perform a potential kill or ambush on that enemy. Base, the area inside the wall perimeter on your side of the map from top to bottom dampener. BD/backdoor, to attack an enemy's towers or base while an enemy has their attention elsewhere, can be done with minions, can also be done without minions in order to make a desperate or a clutch play. Blind, a crowd control effect that causes an enemy's auto attacks to miss. Blind pick/normal, it's a game mode where both teams select their champion simultaneously with no ban or draft phase. BM, bad-mannered act of being rude, inappropriate, or toxic. Bot refers to either bottom lane or an AI-controlled champion, i.e. bot game/bot matches. Bot game match, or bot matches, a game mode where up to 5 players protectors versus AI-controlled champions, usually used for practice and just learning the game and items in general. Broken, when something in-game is viewed as too strong, imbalanced, or OP. Bruiser, a champion type that refers to champions who utilize damage and health effectively. Bug, a defect in the game, usually causing something unintentional by the developers to happen. Burst, large amounts of damage dealt at once, usually in reference to a champion's skill set. Care, implies a player should be careful. Carry usually references a player who is further progressed than his teammates and enemies, in which case he can progress the game positively for his team. Also refers to a type of champion who can dish out a lot of damage, someone you're going to want to keep alive as well. Cast, the action of using a spell or an ability. CC, acronym for crowd control, a type of ability or action that limits a character's actions or movements. CD, acronym for cooldown, in reference to a champion's wait time till his ability is able to be used again. CDR, acronym for cooldown reduction, a type of stat you can obtain through amplifier pages with augments or with item purchases. CDR reduces your ability's cooldowns. The more CDR you have, up to a cap of 40%, will allow your cooldowns and your abilities to be able to use faster. Chain CC, the act of consecutively using crowd control abilities or actions on an enemy. Channel, a type of cast time that is used to perform certain abilities, can usually be countered by hard CC. Chase, the act of pursuing an enemy, can also be a negative connotation. Don't want to chase you hard, it will get you killed. Collapse, coordinated convergence onto an enemy or group of enemies from you and your allies. Controller, a champion type that refers to a champion who utilizes utility, most commonly used in a duo lane and referred to as a support in other MOBAs. Commit, to not retreat, a choice to stay and fight instead of backing down or second guessing the fight. Once you've committed, you're in the fight, you're in for the long haul, good or bad. Counter gank, a set up ambush as the enemy is ambushing. Counter pick, choosing a particular champion that specifically plays well versus a champion selected by the enemy. Cover, a request for an ally to protect and play their lane and play your lane or their lane while they return to the base and or achieve some other form of objective. Credits, Infinite Crisis' specific name for an in-game currency used to purchase in-game items. The more you're farming, the more drones you're killing, the more champion kills you get, you earn credits to purchase items. Creeps, slang for drones or minions in reference to AI in the lanes or jungle. CS, acronym for creep score, an old MOBA term that refers to the amount of minions or creeps killed in Infinite Crisis. It's more so referenced to the gold difference or credit difference between lane and opponents, whether it be mid versus mid, top versus top, bottom lane versus bottom lane, or jungle versus jungler. Custom refers to a game set up specifically by players used for practice or for fun. Damp or dampener refers to the turrets defending the walls of the base. Killing a dampener will spawn super minions in that lane. DC, acronym for disconnected. Debuff, a negative effect applied to an enemy champion from an ability or active item. Deny or credit stomping. In Infinite Crisis, deny refers to physically stepping on the enemy's dropped credits to not allow them to pick it up, thus denying them the ability to get those credits to utilize for item purchases. Destroyer usually refers to the large jungle drones, i.e. regen, speed, top and bottom destroyers in the jungle, and the top and bottom are in the lane on Gotham Divided. Det or detonate, Infinite Crisis' stolen power used by junglers to obtain the last hit on an objective and to increase the clear time in the jungle, also referred to as smite in other MOBAs. Dive, to pursue an enemy in a specifically dangerous area, usually under an enemy turret or in the jungle. You can dive the jungle quite a bit if you're just diving too far or diving the back line of a team fight. DOT, it's an acronym for damage over time effects. Draft, a phase of champion select used in competitive games, draft mode, and ranked mode, where each team undergoes a pick and ban phase before starting an actual game. ELO, your ELO, mathematical rating system that assigns a player a number based on their relative skill level, used for ranked mode. Enforcer, it's a champion type that refers to a champion who utilizes lots of armor and health to absorb damage. Usually this is going to be your tank from other MOBAs. Execute refers to an ability that does damage based on the missing health of an enemy, used mostly as the last hit or the last killing blow in a champion's kit. EXP, short for experience, the physical number and points needed for you and your champion to level up and acquire new strengths and abilities. Face check or face checking, the act of entering a stealth pad or bush, referred to in other MOBAs, with no vision, usually viewed as a risky move. Farm refers to the number of acquired credits, or CS as we referred to earlier, a champion has earned from either their lane or their jungle, also the act of acquiring said farm. First blood, it's the first kill of the game, usually giving off more gold. It's very important. Fear, a debuff which makes the enemy champion walk around uncontrollably. Gaslight Joker's ham, throws it, hits the enemy, fears them in an opposite direction, they run that direction uncontrollably. Fed refers to a champion who has a substantially higher amount of credits or gold than their teammates or enemies. Feed, the act of repeatedly dying, giving your enemies additional gold lead or credit lead to them becoming fed and potentially winning the game. FF or /FF, it's an acronym for forfeit, also it's the command used to initiate a surrender vote in a single game. Freeze or freezing, it's a type of lane management used in upper strategy by manipulating the rate of push by your minions in order to deny your enemy's farm in a single lane. Focus, it's a type of kill priority that refers to a team's effort to mutually select an enemy to attempt to kill first. You have a focus target during a team fight, maybe you want to kill that marksman first, maybe you want to kill that AP carry first, you and your teammates are going to be able to focus that target down. Fog of War, it's the shadowed or dark areas on the map where you and your allies do not have vision. FPS, it's an acronym for frames per second, usually refers to a player's computer performance for the game. Gank, it's an orchestrated ambush by a champion, usually from the jungler, also from laners as well. Gap Closer, it's an ability or spell that allows a player to shorten the distance between himself and an enemy quickly. Good luck, have fun. Also, good luck, have fun, guys. Smile, have a good time. Glass Cannon's a champion or build that allows for high amounts of damage output or burst with little to no defenses. If you're a Glass Cannon, you're going to dish out a lot of damage. You may be able to one-shot somebody, but you're going to be taken down very, very quickly. Global or global ability, it's an ability that can be used in large areas of the map or across the entire map. Gaslight Batman ult, Superman ultimate, AWW ultimate, RGL ultimate. Gold, term used in in-game currency, for in-game currency that is used to purchase items, also known as credits for Infinite Crisis. Harass, the act of putting pressure on an enemy, usually by dealing out a little bit of damage during laning phase, or just whenever you're across from your enemy. HP refers to health or hit points, usually refers to how much health or how much damage in a sense that you can take. Hybrid refers to a champion who can utilize both AP or power damage and AD. So if you're a hybrid champion, you have scalings, you have the ability to utilize all those stats. Hypercarry refers to a champion who usually has a slower early to mid game, but has an amazing late game scaling. For instance, someone potentially like Sinestro, or someone potentially like Atomic Joker. A little bit of a slow early game. Once you get them moving, they tend to carry pretty hard. Inhib/inhibitor, it's a League of Legends term that refers to Infinite Crisis's dampeners. Initiate, an action that creates a fight. Usually the initiator, maybe of a team, would be the person that starts the fight, the person that leads with an ability or leads with an action that will lead your team into a fight. Inner turrets, Infinite Crisis is 2 turrets, or 2 towers, that defend the power core. Insta-gib or insta-kill, when a full HP or relatively full HP champion takes lethal damage in a short amount of time, usually from an assassin or a quick amount of bursts from getting caught out. Insta-lock, the act of quickly selecting and locking in a role and champion without discussing the pick with teammates. Not so good. Invade, the act of entering enemy territory, usually in the jungle. Jungle or urban jungle, the allies populated with minion camps between the multiple lanes on the map. Jungler, it's a champion who foregoes fighting in a lane in order to obtain experience and gold from killing creeps in the jungle. Kill lane, it's a combination of 2 damage champions who pair together in a lane to attempt an aggressive laning phase. Kit, a champion's set of abilities and passive, their Q, their W, their E, their R, and their tab, which is their passive. Kite, the act of continuously retreating away from an enemy while still attacking them. Knockback refers to an ability that pushes an enemy in the opposite direction of the skill user. Knock up, a type of CC disable that forces a champion into the air. Lane, the 2 to 3 lanes that lead from ally and enemy power cores. So 2 lanes on Coast City, 3 lanes on Gotham Divided. Lane or laners, the champion or player who occupies a particular lane during the laning phase. Laning phase, the beginning part of a match which usually ends when 1 or 2 towers have been destroyed. Last hit, getting a killing blow on a drone or enemy champion, last hitting a drone earns you maximum credits for that kill. Leash, the act of laner or laners helping the jungler at their first camp in order to benefit the jungler's early game. Mana, it's a MOBA term used for resources used by most champions to utilize their ability. In Infinite Crisis, it will be referred to as will. Meta or metagame, the game's current playstyle consisting of aspects such as lane setup, jungling, and team composition. MIA, acronym for missing in action, used to inform allies that a particular enemy is unaccounted for on the map. They could be anywhere, they could be looking for a gank. Mid refers to the middle lane that spans from ally to enemy power core. Minion, it's a MOBA term used for AI-controlled units in lanes and jungle. Miss, another term for missing in action. MM, a champion type that refers to an attack damage carry or marksman, ADC, that utilizes base attacks or auto attacks to deal the majority of their damage. Like, again, Green Arrow, Mecha Wonder Woman, Atomic Joker. MR, MOBA acronym for Magic Resist. On Infinite Crisis, it's referred to as Power Armor. Nerf, an internal change to the game by developers to weaken a specific aspect of the game. OP, or otherwise known as overpowered, refers to an aspect of the game that's viewed as imbalanced, or again, overpowered. Overextend, the act of going too far up the lane or into the enemy jungle, or just jungle, where you leave yourself susceptible to ganks and potentially getting killed, of course. Pathing, it's the route that will be taken to reach a clicked destination. The pathing that you take will be auto-set or done manually depending on how you click on the map. Peel, the act of reversing during a fight or a team fight to reach an ally carry in order to protect them from enemies. Penetration refers to attack or power penetration. Penetration is used to help damage types bypass armor. Poke, a form of harass, which is usually done from larger range. Power or power damage, it's Infinite Crisis is named for AP or ability power. It's what you're going to be seeing used on blasters. Roam, the act of laners or laners leaving their lane in order to perform a gank. Root, a debuff ability which prevents the target from any kind of movement. Scaling, it's how well a champion's efficiency increases as the game continues, as they gain items and levels, as well as what type of scaling they use, whether it be attack damage or power damage, will, or health. Scrim refers to a custom game set up by two competitive teams in order to practice versus each other. Smartcast, an option that allows you to use abilities on press or on release of the key that is being pressed. Smite, it's a League of Legends term which refers to using a power to get the last hit on a jungle objective, commonly referred to as det or detonate on Infinite Crisis. Snowball, situation that occurs when a champion or team gains an advantage and continues to use the advantage to potentially win the game. Split push, to continually advance in one lane while the other members of the team are advancing in another lane. So you're splitting multiple lanes up, you're pushing them at the same time. Steroid, it's a type of ability that increases one or more of the champion's base stats. Stolen Powers. Stolen Powers are two additional abilities each player can pick during Champion Select and utilize throughout the course of the game. Also, they are commonly referred to as summoner spells in League of Legends. Stun, a type of debuff which prevents an enemy from moving, attacking, or casting. Support, a category of champions which refers to a champion whose abilities are used to increase his or her allies' performance, also known as controllers in Infinite Crisis. Suppress, it's a type of CC or stun, it's a little bit more of a hard CC. Tank, it's a MOBA term which refers to a champion who soaks up damage, also known as the Enforcer in Infinite Crisis. Taunt, a type of CC or disable which forces the target or targets to attack the taunter. Team composition refers to the makeup of champions used on a team for a specific strategy. If you have a weak team comp, your team won't really have a lot of team synergy or ult synergy, and they will not perform team fights correctly or well throughout the course of the game. Top refers to the uppermost lane of any given map. So top is the second lane on Coast City, or the top very upmost third lane on Gotham Divided. Tower, it's commonly used term for turret. Trade, or trading when players from each side deal equivalent injury to each other during a confrontation. Usually winning a trade means you dealt more damage to your enemy. Losing a trade would mean they dealt more damage to you in an engagement. Tri-bush, or tri-brush refers to the stealth pads directly outside top and bottom lane which lead into the jungle. Ult, or ultimate, a champion's strongest ability or last ability. It's going to be on their R key. Utility, it's a spell or ability it's spells or abilities that are usually beneficial for the team, most commonly from the support or the controller. Ward, it's a MOBA term for an item that reveals the fog of war, commonly referred to as the Stolen Power surveillance cameras in Infinite Crisis, since there are no purchasable wards. There are free base wards that you can pick up one at a time, and there are the Stolen Power wards that you can use in Infinite Crisis. Zoning is a tactic used to prevent an enemy of any gains, credit and experience-wise. If you're zoning them off, you're keeping them away from the farm, you're keeping them away from advancing in strength. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed the Infinite Crisis beginner term guide. It was a little rough for me. There was a lot of typing and a lot of slides. This is everything I could think of. As I was going through it, there was some stuff I wanted to add in. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this guide. Hopefully it helps some of you newer players. This is a very beginner guide into MOBAs, and I'll catch you guys next time.